about recruiting during a pandemic. I know you might be thinking, what are you talking about recruiting? But we are starting to see some of our clients and businesses, and we've actually reached out to our recruiting division. They're seeing an uptick. This could be because businesses who laid people off, those employees aren't coming back, or they've had employees retire or quit, or maybe their business is just really booming during this pandemic. But we're starting to see quite a bit of recruitment. And that has really put a crimp in recruiting because historically, when you recruit, it's a very personable type thing. You invite the candidate to come into your office. There might be 1 to 6 people around the table. You're all sitting there, and that's kind of a no-go right now. So that's one of the hurdles that we're seeing. We're also experiencing that there's no job fairs or career fairs. Those have been pretty much put on pause. So we're here today to talk about some of the hurdles that we're seeing and hopefully give you some tools if you're doing on-site recruiting. So I'm going to hand it over to Candida.
Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about video interviewing because many of us are trying to conduct good interviews and wondering what the best practices are for that. And we're getting better at it the more we do it. That's what we're learning. But one thing we would probably emphasize is training those who are conducting the interviews, such as your frontline supervisors or hiring managers, on how to prepare the candidate for the video interview, like letting them know your expectations as far as will they be expected to dress as they normally would for an interview, or can it be more casual? What are your feelings about the noise, like pets or family members doing things or roommates in the background, and ensuring that they have a good connection ahead of time. So if it's the candidate's first experience interviewing remotely, those are some things to make sure that you're covering with them.
Suggestions? Candida, or do you want me to go?
Oh, no, I was just going to ask if there's anything on the employer side, like things employers should be doing to put their best foot forward in that.
Right. Oh, you bet. Well, again, sorry not to talk unless anybody else, has it. I was just going to say structured, stay on point. If they need to have an agenda, in front of them, that's okay, to do that. It's no different than if they, are interviewing the candidate across the room from them, or nowadays it's the 6 feet across. And if just laying out the expectations, if they're going through the resume or the application, no different, same questions. And then to describe the environment the best they can. If they happen to have any videos, of the organization to send beforehand, just to kind of give them that introduction, that might not be a bad idea. See what their thoughts are, and in them reviewing the website, any material that they can be sent beforehand may not be a bad idea. That's just my suggestion. Anybody else?
I think you want to make sure your tech is working really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to test, things are going to happen on the candidate side, but they really shouldn't happen on the employer side because you've had time to set this up. And so test your mic, make sure your video permissions on your security on your computer have been authorized, and your internet connection is working well. And just maybe start a little bit early to give IT a chance to jump in if they need to fix any problems.
Yeah.
And think about your interview space. So we want to try to shoot from about the torso up and not have anything crazy in the background. I saw someone did an interview and it was just his home office, but there was a bedroom in the background. And I think that can be kind of off-putting or
unusual.
And it's just a lot of us have computers in, or our home office space is part of our bedroom or a little nook in there, but you want to make sure that whatever is going on behind you is reasonable for that space.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. And, Camille, I know that you've had some of your clients are still conducting, in-person interviews. How is that going? Like, what are the expectations that they're portraying to the candidates to make sure the candidates feel comfortable coming in and what to expect. Do they mask? Do they not mask? Are they fist pumping? Are they shaking hands? Are they giving Germex out at the door? Like, what are they doing?
Great question. I think one of the things is to make sure that the candidate is at ease, so they know what to expect when they come on site. Letting them know what your business is doing. Are they following CDC guidelines? Is there Germex or hand sanitizer everywhere? Are you going to adhere to the 6 feet apart? Is mask going to be encouraged and be worn? I think just having that during your pre-screening, so when they do come on site, that they are rest assured and that they feel comfortable and know what to expect.
Yeah, what do you think about like temperature checking? I mean, I guess it's no different if the organization has customers coming in and they're checking their temperature, you know, to say to the candidate, hey, just letting you know, it's not unusual. We're checking temperatures for everybody, you know, just to kind of lay it out and you know, what the feeling is. I don't know if I would have a problem with it, you know, as a candidate, but I don't know if you've seen any candidates have a problem with that.
Probably be best to just let them know what to expect ahead of time, and that way if for some reason they would have any issue with that, they could self-select out and just say, well, I'm not coming to that in-person interview, and then that would be that. But I think the less surprises there are in that situation, probably the better.
Yeah, you bet. And I know, you know, about a candidate, and I can't remember if the candidate had a strong preference for wearing a mask or they didn't have an interest in wearing a mask, you know, and it was a behind the curtain, like literally.
So a strong preference for not. This candidate was not wanting to wear a mask, and we did discuss this in the pre-screen, but I think she just forgot about it. And when she came to the in-person interview, the hiring manager said, okay, well, you know, part of our protocol is we're all putting on a mask. I see you don't have one. Can I offer you one? And she was like, wait, is that how things are around here? And he said, yes, when you're in the building, you're wearing a mask. That's how we're doing things. And she said, well, I'll just tell you right now, I'm not down with that. And he said, well, would you like to conclude the interview now? And she said, yep, I think that'd be best. So she left. So we know that that's just an extra challenge because, you know, with recruiting, because there's all these things that people make decisions on, like how much pay, how much benefits, things like that. This is a whole other wrinkle. Like, are you comfortable wearing a mask all day, or when you're walking around, or whatever rule that the business has set? And now we have, you know, some candidates who are unwilling to follow those rules and will not be a good fit for that location. And conversely, we have the opposite, where people are wanting to be kept safe for various reasons. Maybe they have an immunocompromised person at home and they walk into an interview and they see the situation and how the business is conducting themselves there, and they say, you know, you guys are not taking safety terribly serious during the time of a pandemic. I don't think it's a good idea for me to work here. So what this is effectively doing is cutting our candidate pool even further in half. So I think it makes recruiting a little bit more of a challenge.
Great coffee talk, guys. So cheers to that for sure. Well, in closing, you know, this kind of wraps up this month's coffee talk. And, you know, our focus has been on recruitment during the pandemic. And so whether you're an employer that are seeking employees or needing help with those hard to fill positions, or you're even a job seeker, we certainly hope that this was of value. And, you know, feel free to give us a call if we can help with any questions, or you're needing to prepare, you know, for your interviews that you're going forward, or just helping in general with recruitment. And, you know, thank you, Camille Knowles from Springfield and Candida Arvizu from Pennsylvania. And hope you guys have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. See you next time.